On this episode, I fixed the ignition problems on my Hachiroku.
And then bring it to ABC Circuit.
Welcome back to another episode with my Hachiroku, the 3S GE beams-powered AE86 rust bucket. Quick recap if you're new here. I bought this car a few years ago just on a whim. It seemed like a good idea at the time. I drove it around a fair bit at this one particular track, then brought it back here. It just sat around for a long time doing nothing. And I thought it'd be a good idea to start driving it again because AE86. I did all the stuff you're supposed to do. New tires, new fuel, new fluids, new battery, and a bunch of other little fixes, with the goal of driving it with another similarly, if not even more rusty AE86 at the Hagenobu Sokokai Drift Day at Nikko Circuit. I did manage to do that for a few laps at least, check what I wanted to do. But once I got to the track, it was pretty obvious the car had a fairly bad misfire. As someone said in the comments of that last video, it sounded like a snowmobile. Didn't have any spare parts, not much I could do about it, so I made the best of what I had. To fix that, brand new coil packs, hopefully that should solve the problem. Unfortunately, the day ended with a little spin and a crash while leading a big drift train, which I didn't want to do, but did anyway. There's a bit of a dent in the car, broken wheel, but it happens. Before we do that though, there is something else I want to do to this car. I'm a firm believer that the cooler a drift car looks, the more likely you are to drive it, want to spend money on it, and want to work on it. The easiest way to make an AE86 look good is lower it and put some nice wheels on it. Now, unfortunately right now, my wheel game is not good. It just has some 15 by 7.5 SSRs on the front and some 15 6.5 Longchamps on the back. The ones on the front just came on the car when I bought it. The ones on the back, I used to have them on my daily driver van and I just had them, so I thought, I'll just use those. Why not? Also, that saggy front bumper from when this nearly got caught up in a shop fire, that needs to go too. So before we start working on the car, I just want to see how cool this car could look. So I borrowed some wheels. All right, first one for the front. This is a SSR Mark III. Look at that dish. 14 by 9. Pretty much perfect A86 retro style 14-inch wheel. Hopefully these fit over the brakes that are on there.
Hi, sorry to interrupt, it's editing Alexi here. I forgot to say, I borrowed these wheels from my buddy Di-chan, who had taken them off his A86 to put on some skinnier winter wheels with snow tires on them, because, as you know, snowy roads can be quite slippery.
Not sure I've talked about it yet or not, but when I bought it, it came with these rotors and these calipers. And I believe these are from an EG6 Civic. This is a fair bit bigger than your standard AE86 brakes, so I hope it fits. I was informed that a 30mm spacer will make these wheels fit perfectly, so we'll see. We're not driving anywhere, so hand tight is all right. Oh yeah, these kinds of wheels need those shank and washer style, Toyota sort of style nuts. And I've only got tapered nuts, but yeah, like I said, we're not going anywhere, so this will be fine. Yeah, it just barely clears the brakes, but it's fine. Yes! Oh, that already looks so much better. All right, the wheels we have for the back, you're gonna like these ones. The AE86 Classic Watanabes, also in 14 by 8. With a stretch. Let's just compare these two, look. Stretch looks cooler, wheel looks cooler. Get the spacers on for this one too. Drop it down, don't hit. Yes, it's got that AE86 poke. That is so much better. It actually looks like a proper Hachiroku now. So last episode, I got a free front bumper from Robbie Nishida. This one here, it's free because for some reason this part's been cut out. But that doesn't matter because I got this N2 style fiberglass lip, which is meant for a regular narrow body car. So let's put this on. All right, this is just for testing purposes for today. Just like I was saying before, I just want to see how cool this car can look so I have a bit more motivation to keep going with it, because as you can see in the background, there's plenty of other cars that need my attention with the little brake ducts, and it's meant to just fit on like, all right, it will need a little trim, but let's just stick it on there for now. Just get it on here with a bit of electrical tape. There we go. Oh, the tow hook's in the way. I gotta take that off. All right, time to stand back and look. That's so much better. Why is it so high at the front? Look at this gap. Maybe it needs to be lower. Yeah, go look up how much a pair of Mark IIIs cost these days in that size. Here's the list of things I shouldn't have done today. That. Because it looks like an AE86 now with the 14s and a bit of a lip. Maybe it could be lower in the front. It does have coilovers in the front, so I could fix that. But however, I have successfully convinced myself that it's worth working on, and it can be cool once it runs properly. So that's going to be next. All right, let's get these wheels off. All right, fun part out of the way. Let's make it run properly. Here we go, brand new, made in Japan, Denso coil packs for this car. I hope this fixes it, because I want to go and drive at Ebisu. Please work. It's always nice to be able to just fix a problem with buying a new part rather than it being some other sort of problem. All right, battery's on. It is going to fire up and idle smoothly, and everything's going to be fine. Got to will it into existence sometimes. All right, let's let it warm up for a minute. All right, it's warmed up. There's a bit of a loose heat shield down there. It's rattling a bit, but all right, I'd say that's running good now. Just while we're here too, I want to show you something. Like, you know how every car or every engine has that sort of, one or two things about it that suck, that's like kind of weak, or just, is like the first thing that you need to modify. Well, on the Beams engine, it's this thing. So the throttle body on these has a combination of electric and wire. And I'm not sure exactly, but I think it had something to do with some sort of patent that belonged to like Bosch or like something like that, I don't know, where they couldn't make it fully electric. They had to make it a combination to sort of get around this. And once the patent expired, I think that's why every car has like electric throttles now. I don't know. If you know what I'm talking about, write it in the comments. But listen to this, see this. Okay, so you accelerate. See how that doesn't move? Look at how the butterfly moves, ready? Accelerate, then it only opens like halfway. Can you hear that? It goes like that, then that's the only manual movement that you can do. And the rest is all computer controlled, like on the inside with all this stuff over here. This is the worst thing about this car, considering it's an AE86, it's supposed to have like, NA style immediate response, and it doesn't because of this. Normally that wouldn't be a problem. Like if you're at 30%, 40%, then off a bit, on a bit, normal sports driving, it's fine. But being off and on, like you go full off and then go full on and there's like a delay, it sucks. There are ways to get around this. The best way to get around it would be a link and throttle bodies. That's the expensive way. There are lockout kits that give you like full response all the time. Apparently there's like one super cheap one, it's like $20. Doesn't really work very well with street cars, but this doesn't have aircon, or I'm not worried about cold idling or anything like that. So that might be the way to go, but I don't know. Well, look, as long as the engine's running good for now, I'm fine. All right, engine cover on, engine done. Let's move on to another problem. When I had that spin and crash, here's what happened to the wheel that was on the back. The other guy's rear diff housing actually bent like that from where we hit. He got a big dent, and I got a big dent. All right, welcome to Noriera's Dodgy Panel Shop. This is the dent here. Luckily, the door still opens and shuts like that. As you can see here, the entire door is flappy because this is all rusted out and not even connected anymore. But what I'd like to do is at least pull this out a little bit so it's somewhat normal looking. It doesn't have to be straight, just a bit more out like that. The inner skin and outer skin, like I said, this car is very rusty, have separated. This will chew into the tire if I don't pull it out a bit, and also the inner skin as well. Might have to hammer it out a bit. There is actually one other thing I want to check too, I forgot. Okay, it looks straight, because I know this wheel is straight. It's not wobbling. Okay, good. I wanted to see if the wheel was going to be doing that, like if it had a bent axle shaft or something like that. So I don't know, it seems okay. All right, let's work this dent out. I have the perfect tool. Porta Power. I originally bought this for my Skyline because it was an Ebisu car, and at that time, basically every Ebisu car had the right side stoved in from hitting walls. And so I just wanted to push it out so it was roughly the same shape as a regular Skyline and not like all shaped like a boat. It kind of worked, and I'm just going to kind of make this work today as well. The first thing is to just get this little vent thing out of the way. There's more air than metal in there. So the way it works is this is a 4-ton hydraulic pump. It goes into this ram and you put a pole on that end, a pole on that end, and it's sort of working. That's not that bad, honestly. It's better than it was before. The car doesn't have a passenger seat for a reason. Look at the rust. Gave the wheel arch a bit of a hammer too to get the sort of the bent metal out of the way of the tyre. Bit of chassis black maybe to cover up those bare bits of metal. That is about as good as it's going to get for today, so let's go to the track.
All right, we made it out to Ebisu Circuit. We're a Nishi course. Over the past few years, like I don't know how long it's been since I've driven here. I've probably about 3 years. I've been out here maybe 10 times to do other things, like to do the commentary at G1 Grand Prix and just, you know, bring my friends' cars up and stuff like that. Haven't driven. So first in a long time for me, and also first time in the beans ever here today at Ebisu Circuit. So as you can hear, there are some fairly serious cars here today. And the reason for that is, I'll show you the course that we're running. We're running this, it's the figure 8. I've got to figure out, it goes like this. Figure 8 course at Nishi. I looked on the schedule a couple of days ago and it said figure 8 course. I've never seen that before, but apparently it's the course that they use for the FD competitions here at Nishi. So, I don't know, rather than drive on another track, this one is probably better for this car. It's a bit big, but I don't have to worry about hitting things because I'm still not used to that car. Apparently they're also doing inspection for the FD cars, including this one of the Mizuno brothers, the Super Mizuno brothers.
Yes, Luigi.
Luigi. Here's all the sequential anti-lag, and here's me in the rust bucket. All right, let's take it out for a drive. It's towards the end of the day. I took it easy coming up here today because I got up late, and spent a lot of time yapping to people because I haven't been here for so long. All right, I hope this time is more fun than the last time. Yeah, every other car out there has a window banner on it. Which lane am I? Thank you. Yeah, it's still not perfect, but it is a million times better than it was before. Alright, we're probably almost out of time. And there's that black mark on the road that's kind of teasing me. I don't think I can start that far back, but I think we have to do a feint entry. Might be required. That's the worst drifting I've done in a long time, but I'm so hyped on it. I don't know why. It's NA, bro. NA. Man, there's something about NA cars that's just more, you're more in it. Good job. Off. Success. Success, he says, after doing the most mid drifting ever. But look, NA is fun. Lightweight is fun. And look at the tires. Hang on. I wasn't out there for that long, but tires barely touched. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff with this car. I might just bring it back to Ebisu next time, I think. That kind of suited this course more than I thought. They were all like pro cars running, and I was running almost exactly the same line. Maybe with a lot less angle and a lot less speed. I think the angle is the next thing to sort out in this car. It could do with a bit more. I couldn't even do a U-turn in the pit row. I thought I'd be able to just turn around. It couldn't turn around, so not enough lock. Thanks again to all the people on Patreon and the YouTube channel members who get to see these videos early, at least a day early. We had a good day with the beans. I did a flick entry and it didn't break. Good, I can drive home happy now. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time. Just a little post-credit scene. There's this restaurant in Nihonmatsu called Tarafuku, and you can see all the drift stickers from everyone who comes here. Good food. Cheese, fried shrimp. Yeah.